Hi everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on ways to split user stories. So, all of us as business analysts, this is something that we keep creating every day, and we also have confusions as to how to split a user story. So, in this video, it's a part one video, and I'll be taking the first three types of ways to split user stories, followed by the part two video, which I would take the other different ways to split a user story. So, let's get into it. So the very first question is why split user stories? So imagine you have a huge user story and you take this user story and you want to add it to a sprint, and then you go and explain this user story. The developers say that it's too huge a story, and then we cannot accommodate this in the current sprint. So what happens? One is you take this user story, you need to exceed the sprint. You cannot even commit to the clients and the customers. One is you have to not take that user story because it's not able to be accommodated in that sprint. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of effort. So why not split that user story where everyone can work on different chunks of that you on different chunks in order to achieve the final goal. So it's always best to split user stories using the invest methodology also. And it's also good if you split your user stories, so it'll be good for better estimations and also to manage user stories and the features of your product. So the very first way to split user stories is by operations. So this is about splitting user stories based on operations such as the CRUD: create, read, update, and delete. So take this example. As an online shopper, I should be able to view and add products to my cart so that I can proceed to payment. So in this user story, I have merged two operations together, which is the view as well as add. So the view operation is totally different because the effort is going to be different, the UI is going to be different. It's not similar to the add operation. When you want to add products, that is also a different operation on its own. It requires different effort also. So always try to avoid merging different operations in a user story. Try to split it up. So over here I've split it up as to two user stories. One user story where the user should be able to view the list of products, and the second user story is the user should be able to add products to the cart. So in this way you have a well defined split user story. And also if you see, the value that I'm providing is also, what to say, valid. Because if you see the first user story, I'm providing a value where the user can browse a catalog of products for which they can view the information and take a decision if they want to purchase or not. The second one is I'm adding value where the user will be actually able to choose and select the products and add them to a cart, and they can proceed to the payment. So every user story, even after splitting, make sure that you validate and see that the user story, even though it's small, whether still it's providing value. Because if it's not going to provide value, then that's going to be totally a very invalid user story, and it's not going to provide any value and doesn't make sense. The next one is based on functionality. So we split user stories based on functions. When I say functions, you have different functions. For example, search, sort, filter, all these are different functions. So it's always best again to split user stories based on individual functions. So if you take this example, as an online shopper, I should be able to search for a product as well as filter products so that I can easily discover the products I am searching for. So now search and filter might seem like something easy, and you might think, okay, let's go ahead and just put it into one user story. But each one has a different functionality of its own. As I said, the UI is going to be different, the effort is going to be different, acceptance criteria are going to be different. And with two different functionalities being merged together, the effort is also going to be large. So therefore split the user stories again. So I have split it up again into two user stories. One is for the search, another one is for filters. So if you see, the acceptance criteria is also going to be different. So here you will be searching based on keyword, and then over here if it's going to be a filter story, then I'm saying that let's filter by the status and the price. So in this way, you can have a search functionality separately as well as a filter. Teams can work on these two stories independently rather than merging them and creating a big story. And if at all you cannot take in both these user stories in one sprint, then you can always see which one is something that is of higher priority and you can pull it in. So these are the advantages. The next one is clarity. Now, this is something really important. So you split user stories based on the level of information that is available. So let's say I have this user story in my backlog, okay? As a user, I should be able to view dashboards in real time so that I will be able to take decisions anytime. So now let's say you take this user story and you propose this to the team and say, hey, I need to build up a dashboard which needs to be a real time dashboard. So now what happens if the team just keeps thinking, saying that, okay, I have no idea how to build a real time dashboard. I can build a dashboard, but I can't assure you that it's going to be real time. So now you say that this is the user story and I need this user story. This is something that the client wants. So now the team has a lot of uncertainty. Okay. They are not sure how to build this dashboard of real time. And what they are going to do is teams might take more time. Okay. That is, they are going to estimate this of a higher story point value because it's uncertain. They know that they have to do some analysis on their end and it's going to take definitely some time. So, to avoid this scenario, one thing that you can do is split this user story. So, now how to split this user story? The best way to split this user story is because I still am not certain of exactly how to solve this particular problem, there is some analysis that is required. So, therefore, create a spike first. Okay, so when you create a spike here over here, you can see that as a business analyst of the pipeline project, I should be able to do a research and get all the details of how to build real time dashboards so that I can propose the solution to build real time dashboards to the team. And then you have some acceptance criteria of A, B, C, and blah blah blah. So now when you complete this analysis and you have a great understanding of, okay, now I know how to build a real-time dashboard, this is the solution, okay, you can propose this to the team later on. And now since the team knows exactly how they need to, go about this user story and solve this problem, they have probably enough of information, so this is going to reduce the amount of effort on their end, and the story is going to be of a little lower story point size, which can be accommodated in a sprint rather than taking a big user story with a lot of uncertainties and not knowing whether you can complete it or not. Stuff like that, you can always split it down, and this really works. Okay, so this is another way that you can split user stories, and that's it for this video. So continue to watch the part 2 video where I explain the other ways to split user stories. And for this video, I hope that this information was informative. So if you like this video, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to this channel, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.